Now, after we finish the raid on the combat outpost in Bakerville, we will then meet up at the rally point, return to our base camp here at Masada, and then we're going to get everyone together. We're going to move to AO Winchester, that's Area of Operation Winchester. Now, when we're in AO Winchester, we do have members of the unit that live inside that AO. So we're going to kick some of them out, a few at a time, to go on pass. Some of the guys are authorized a week's worth of leave because of their performance in combat. They earned the time off. So they're going to get either 5 or 7 days. Now, how it's going to work, we're going to identify who all lives in that area, who is authorized to go on pass, who's authorized to go on leave. So when we get to PERSCOM there, S1, I want you to mention that before we get in to your stuff. How many people we have that are supposed to go on pass, all right? All right. Now, how it's going to work, we'll do it like we've done before. The people that are going to go on leave and pass will get sent out on a patrol. They're going to go to a particular area. They're going to split off from that patrol. They're going to move forward to a location of their choosing. We'll give them some recommendations though on where they're going to stow their weapons and their gear. Remember, they're going into civilian areas where everyone is disarmed. So we want to decrease the possibility of them being identified as belonging to the resistance. I know it sucks sending them in unarmed, but hey, that's why we continue to practice on hand-to-hand combat, isn't it? Now, when they get to that point, they're going to stow their gear. Hopefully, we'll have a gray man cache in that area. Otherwise, I know we have a few safe houses in that area. Is that correct, XO? All right, maybe we'll end up sending some of them to the safe house and they'll change over to civilian clothes there, and then they'll use those to infiltrate into wherever they live. Now, if the person lives in the country, it should be just fine for them to go back home, stow their shit on their property, and then change into their clothing inside their own home, or whatever procedure that particular person has set up with their spouse, with their families. Now, their passes are going to be 24 or 48 hours. It's going to depend on the operations going on at that time. Before the pass time is up, that 48 hours, that group will have to rally back together, change back into their uniforms, get their gear back on, get their shit wired tight. If they got any stuff they're bringing from home, some additional food, cigarettes, whatever, you know, they get it stowed in their bags, bring it with. They will then move out from there. They will be given a rendezvous time and location where they will meet up with a returning patrol. They will meet up with the returning patrol, and then they will either be brought back to their platoon in the field, or they will be brought back to the new base camp that we're going to set up inside AO Winchester. We have not picked a location yet for where we're going in AO Winchester. Good point there, LT. The recon on that will be conducted during the prisoner snatch and also the raid on the cop. They'll find us some locations that'll work for this base camp, and then we'll move in. We'll get it set up then. Once each group gets done, comes in off a pass, we will then notify the next batch that's supposed to go out. They'll get the same instructions, same arrangements, and then they'll be sent out on pass also. Do not know for certain at this time how long we're going to stay in AO Winchester, because it's really going to be determined by how much pressure we get after this. You know, because we're going to be snatching some of those some of those informants, some of those quislings and that stuff during the prisoner snatch, and then, you know, wiping out that combat outpost. You know, they're going to be gunning after us hard, and we'll see how long it takes for them to locate us. They'll still keep checking around here in AO Judea, but we won't be here. We're going to move out as fast as we can. Now, that wraps that up, my section on operations over the next 2 weeks here. We're going to be going to logistics next, which means it's going to be 3/4 criminal. And I just want to point out to you guys, okay, the suggestions that you guys had, we sent them up to our little Patriot Industries cell. They did improvements on the Panzerfaust, so we're up to version 2.3 now. I do know that they've increased the size of the warheads up to 84 millimeter. There's still reloadables. You know, they did a few changes on what you guys had asked for. Supply's going to let us know who's going to get them, how many we're going to be getting them. Hopefully some of these specifics on the operations, like do we have increased range or any of that stuff, whatever he's been able to find out. So 3/4 criminal, you're up next.